What is going on, everybody? We're here and we are live, and it's going to be one hell of a show. Everything's working perfect. Jay's in a normal place. All of his technology is properly working. We're ready. What's going on, Jay?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you great. I don't
So
know
we
why the
were,
headphones didn't want to work in the regular. I plugged the headphones into the computer and now it works fine.
yeah, so we were, about 10 minutes before I was in here, Jay was in here. We were talking, making sure the internet was okay. Everything seems fine because he's on the road. And quite literally 30 seconds before we're about to go live, Jace couldn't hear me anymore. He stopped being able to hear me. So we work through the kinks. That's how it goes here. I will say everything went pretty smooth yesterday. While you were here, you looked a little different. You
Yeah,
had red
I changed
hair.
my hair color and everything.
Yeah, everyone was saying, what happened to Jay?
Vera is a wonderful, wonderful guest. So I'm sure a lot of people would like to see more of her.
Yeah, I think there was some, everybody likes a change up every once in a while.
I think so.
Everybody likes a change up. So it was good. Everybody likes when Vera comes on. So, and yes, I saw somebody say I did get a haircut. Got the summer cut going on. It's getting fucking hot here. So had to get the haircut.
I'm in. All right. Woo. I'm in Washington, D.C. Okay, I'll show you guys around real quick. There we go. So y'all can see where I'm at. There's the building right there. And if you look over, you see the cherry blossoms. You can see the Lincoln Place.
You're gonna go see where Red Hulk fucking beats up Captain America.
That's exactly where I'm going. So I'll be at the White House today. I'm going to the White House. So maybe I'll see some of our fan favorites over there. So.
Maybe make sure you stop by some of those protests to do some interviews.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna film that if that's there's something out there. So.
I really hope you can find some queers for Palestine or something there. Ask them how they feel like they'd be greeted, stuff like that. That'd be great.
I think so. I think it'll be funny. Apparently, there's a guy there now just blasting some kind of music into the White House, like from across the street. He got some kind of permit. So I guess we'll see. So I guess we'll see what's up.
Right. It doesn't matter when you go. There's always some crazies like outside the White House doing something. Every time I've been there, that's been the case.
Yeah. And I'm in a hotel room, guys. I'm not, there's the bed lamp, all that stuff. So this is just a curtain.
Jay's currently staying in the J. Edgar Hoover building, actually.
Pretty much. But man, I took a train here just because I've never done that before. And I thought it was going to be a great experience. For the most part, it was pretty nice until we were in South Carolina and apparently an engine blew because all the power went out, the AC went out, all the stuff went out, all that stuff gone. So I was like, well, that's weird. So we just stopped somewhere in South Carolina. There was like an old abandoned church on the side of the road. So I got a little nervous. Then the guy had to walk around and manually tell everybody, hey, we blew an engine and the power's out. So we're going to be stuck here till we replace it. And I'm sitting here like, how the freak? How are you going to, how long does that take? It's like, well, it could take an hour to 7 hours. So, So of course it's me. So it was the later, it was the later. Took 10 hours. 10 hours to change. So I didn't get it here until about 1 a.m.
Yeah, I had a lot of sympathy for Jay when he told me about his travel problems.
At least I had a nice sleeper car, but still it didn't matter without the AC or anything like that. It was
I could not imagine taking a fucking train to go somewhere, with the exception being like maybe that high-speed train or whatever, the Bright Line, like down to Miami or whatever.
Bright Line is nice, man.
Yeah, like with the exception of those types of things, I could not imagine fucking deciding to take a train trip to go. Fuck that shit, man. Might as well just drive if you're going to do that. But Jay told me all these troubles he had because he had to let me know if the internet was good enough. He could do a show. We had to have Jeremy fill in, whatever it might be. It gives me this laundry list of terrible fucking things that have happened to him on this train. And I just said, you get what you deserve when you decide to travel like a hobo.
Like a hobo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm here.
Choices, hobo problems, you know?
I'm here. And I'm about 1 mile from the White House. So I'm going to walk it. So we'll see what happens. Be kind of neat.
Yeah, you gotta do it when you're there.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And then Saturday, I think a bunch of people are coming to hang out at the Air and Space Museum, even though it's a smaller version. So that'll be kind of fun.
Oh, there you go.
There's your update, everybody. There's your update.
That's where Jay's at.
That's where I'm at. Washington, good old Washington, D.C. Hopefully I can meet Trump and AOC. I'll let you all know if she really is, in fact, a big booty Latina.
The operator for 3. I get drunk every morning watching y'all. Thanks. You're welcome, the operator. Mando Unchained for 199. Jay looks like he's filming a hostage video.
I don't think anybody would come for me. That's the thing. So,
with the curtain in the back, doesn't really look like a hostage video.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want to open the window. It's like the bright sun.
Alex McCarthy for $2. S tier daily stream. Enter code RK3PO. You can try to enter code RK3PO. It may or may not work. But if you do want a meta PC, you can use code RK Outpost or code Drunk3PO or code 199 if you find yourself in need of a new computer. Thank you, Alex McCarthy, for the reminder. Empty-headed, I agree with Josh. Hashtag save Jay's life.
I think Ryan, if something happened to me up here, I think Ryan would be the first in his car to come up and make sure.
Depends what it was.
I'm being held hostage by a bunch of transgender lesbian men.
Oh, then I would definitely come up there just with the sole intention of I'd pack up the car, get my, unlock the gun safe, pack up the car. That's no problem. Now, if you told me it was like competent people, I might be might hesitate. Might hesitate. If you're telling me that I'm going up there to fight a bunch of people that have a 41% chance of just turning the gun on themselves anyway, yeah, of course I'll go. Those are good odds.
Respect.
Default for 10. Jay, are you doing a meetup in DC? I'm in Arlington. What are you doing at the White House?
If there is a meetup, like I said, I'd let everybody know that if you want to come to the Air and Space Museum at 3:00, you have to, it's weird now. You got to get tickets, but they're free. Before you could just walk in.
They just want to make sure they're not overcrowded or whatever. Yeah, I think.
So we got tickets, but then after, I'll probably spend an hour and a half, 2 hours. So maybe after that, if anybody wants to meet me at the mall area, yeah, we could just walk. I'm just gonna walk the monuments. If anybody wants to show up, I'd be happy to y'all can hang out with all of us. So
yeah, and I think to clarify,
there's 3 people that are coming. That are going to hang out. Eldridge, he's in a chat a lot of times. Canalist, he'll be there. And also Place Beyond Space. He said he's going to be there. He's in the chat right now. So I know there's 3 of us. It wasn't like an official thing. I'm just like, hey, I'm in the area. I might go to the zoo. So, I might do that.
I've been to the DC Zoo. Been to DC Zoo a couple times. And just to clarify the question, you're not you're not going into the White House. You're going to see the White House, right? Are you doing a tour of the White House?
I might be doing a tour, yeah.
That'd be cool.
So, might be doing a tour.
That'd be cool.
But I want to do a tour of the Capitol building. So, the person that I know that works in there, he is supposed to get back to me sometime later today. So if I go to the Capitol where I can go inside, it'll be later, around 4 or 5. So we'll see how that is. If not, I'll just be standing out front like everybody else, taking pictures hey, I'm here. No big deal.
Eddie Brock for 249. Did you see the black Daredevil suit for Daredevil Born Again Season 2? I heard somebody talk about it last night. I haven't seen it, though. I haven't seen it. So I'm still trying to suffer my way through this first season here. So
Bro, I've been hearing so much bad stuff about the first season. Like
episode 5
I
was
don't even want
fucking
to turn it
miserable.
on.
Episode 6, I mean, decent last like 10 or 15 minutes. He finally puts his suit back on and shit, but it's a lot of bad to get anything that's like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool. And the Frank Castle sequence is one of the best like 5 minutes we've seen in the Daredevil
exactly,
shit. Like,
that's the thing. 5
but
minutes.
it just there's so much bad shit in between. We'll talk about it a lot, I'm sure, on Friday Night Tights tonight.
Somebody summed it up. I don't know if you could correct this, but they said basically what happens is this series is one of the main characters sitting there listening to somebody else talk. That's
yeah, it's
like
funny.
The season. So whether it's Kingpin, whether it's Daredevil, whether it's whoever, they just sit there and they listen to somebody else talk. So
there are a lot of people that are talking to Daredevil this season. And it's so funny too, because the fucking showrunner or whatever is like, I think one of the worst parts about, some of the Daredevil series was the navel gaze thing that happened. It's like, fuck, all this is navel gaze. People just fucking talking to each other all the time. But
and the ratings are in the tank too, huh?
We'll see how they do over time. I think it'll have better over time probably than something like Agatha maybe. But the fact that it opened equivalent or less than Agatha is embarrassing. Tobias for 10. We keep seeing terrible movie and show trailers, but at least I can say the new Wild Assault trailer is pretty cool. Apparently, pandas can man heavy rocket systems. Who knew? Can't wait to stream it. There you go. Anything that's got animals in it, you put animals in it, Tobias, fucking day one purchase. Matt Stranger for $10. Thank you for your commentary on opening day. It was awesome, Ryan. Go Phillies. Hi, Jay. Have fun in DC. All hail Megatron. Yeah, we did an opening day live stream over on Locals for Major League Baseball opening day that went like 12 or 14 hours or something. I was certainly not on for that entire, but I hopped on for several hours, including all of the Cubs game, some of that Phillies game, the Yankees game that was earlier in the afternoon. And so, yeah, it was good. I like baseball. So,
who's your team? Who's your number one?
Chicago Cubs.
Yeah,
Chicago Cubs.
My Miami Marlins are seen better days.
Well, as I said last night in front of like 30 people, so I feel like I can repeat it in front of a few thousand now. The Marlins season is going to end about the same way you'd expect a Jose Fernandez boat trip to end. Wild Man looking good today, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you, Wild Man. Aztec Soul looks like Josh kidnapped Jay.
What are you talking about?
Tobias, Jay, go to the Spy Museum while you're there. They have tons of cool stuff from both real spies, movies, and shows like Get Smart's Shoe Phone.
I am going to the Spy Museum. I'm gonna film a lot of stuff while I'm here as well. So I'll have all that stuff put on the travel channel that I run.
Jose Contreras for $1 on Rumble. Ryan, did you catch the Bulls-Lakers game last night? Saw the highlights of it. It was a great finish. Hopefully make a Sports Wars video. I don't know if I'll make a whole video specifically on that, but I might do it like because of the LeBron failure, right? Like,
yeah,
after LeBron got this bitch-ass fucking tip in, the saddest like celebration of a game winner that I've ever seen when no one boxes him out and he just fucking taps Lucas Miss back in. And then the very next night, LeBron solely is responsible for the Bulls coming back, down. Bulls scored like 9 points in 11 seconds, and virtually all of it was LeBron James' fault. So I loved seeing that. Josh Giddey with the walk-off half-court buzzer beater.
It was great.
Yeah.
They let that guy come in with a quick layup, though, at the end.
Austin Reeves. Yeah, he blew by Patrick Williams, but
they didn't foul him, which was like I was thinking they would like, foul him, but they didn't.
Didn't happen. But I guess we can talk about Assassin's Creed. We got Assassin's Creed in the thumbnail, Jay. I know you're a big purveyor of the Assassin's Creed franchise. You have never missed an entry, but I don't know if you're going to play Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I think I'm going to skip on that because of all the wonderful gameplay that I've been seeing It's just been really doing well. So,
yeah, well, we got some updates on Assassin's Creed Shadows. If whether people have been paying attention or not, it's been a week since Assassin's Creed Shadows officially released, and in the months of buildup and backlash and controversy and all the stories that came out surrounding this game, Ubisoft themselves admitted what everyone could see very clearly. With all the failures and flops and disappointments, and all the money that they have been hemorrhaging at Ubisoft over the last few years, they needed Assassin's Creed Shadows to be a mega hit, a smash hit for them. If Ubisoft had any case of surviving as a company without some sort of bailout or sell-off or buyout or some sort of restructuring, we knew that that was the case with this company. And Ubisoft has been desperate to convince us that, guys, it's so massive. 2 million players. Actually, no, 3 million players through the first week. We promise we're not going to tell you sales numbers because we're not going to tell you sales numbers. Why would we do something like that? We're just going to tell you how many people are playing it. Well, when you look at some of these numbers, they don't really add up. And even a lot of industry analysts were saying, hey, it's selling like we would expect for a big franchise, but it's nothing crazy. And it's certainly not the big hit that Ubisoft desperately needs. Well, we got this news yesterday. Apparently, Assassin's Creed Shadows was not enough for Ubisoft because this big announcement came out. Ubisoft is spinning out its Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy Rainbow Six franchises into a new subsidiary backed by Tencent. Tencent, the giant Chinese tech company. No word yet on what this means for other Ubisoft franchises or the company's approximately 19,000 employees.
Wow.
Effectively, Park Place put out this article. Ubisoft forms 4 billion euro gaming subsidiary with Chinese tech giant Tencent for major IPs like Assassin's Creed amid reported financial devastation. Kotaku actually got this headline pretty accurate, surprisingly. Ubisoft is getting a $1.25 billion bailout from Tencent. Effectively, what we have here, Jay, is a company that could not survive, that needed to go through some crazy restructuring, is effectively now decided to take a $1.25 billion bailout from Tencent, and they get a major stake in this Ubisoft 2.0. We don't really know what this thing's going to be called yet, where they take what they feel are their most valuable IPs, start a new company with it, of which Tencent has a significant amount of, control over. And then what happens to all the other Ubisoft employees? What happens to all the other stuff? We don't know. Probably thousands of people are going to lose their jobs, probably massive restructuring. But and they're trying to spin it, of course, as we're so hopeful for this future and this massive investment. It's a bailout because your company would have gone fucking bankrupt. Yep. That's what this is.
You remember you used to go to those giant Best Buy stores, even though there are a few around. Now they've shrunk into these like little mall kiosks at some places. It's pretty much what's happening to Ubisoft, right? Is that a good way of putting it or a horrible way of putting it?
Maybe, I guess you could look at it that way. But yes, this is, and they're being very clear. Hey, the Guillemette still has control over this, and it's only a 25% share. Yeah, you just give up 25% of all your IPs to Tencent.
Yeah.
For essentially $1 billion infusion
just to
cash.
Hold on.
They sold to Tencent, and they're probably going to sell more over the next couple years. That's the reality.
I think it's going to dissolve, man. If they keep this up, they probably, it'll just have that name maybe in the back corner of a box, like of something that you buy. If they keep this up, that's how poorly this company has really.
Yeah, and some people are like, well, isn't this a good thing? They're getting $1 billion. Isn't that a good thing for this company? Well, Ubisoft stock is now hitting another fucking low today because of this. Because everyone can see right through this. You're trying to separate out what you think of these valuable IPs, the one that Tencent was actually interested in, and you gave them a significant portion of those IPs now forever and ever. And it's only going to become more as time goes on. I think it's only a matter of time, a couple years down the road before Tencent owns a majority of those, because things are not going to change quickly enough at Ubisoft to save this. But at least now we know for certain. We thought we were going to have to wait months to know if Assassin's Creed Shadows would be the hit that Ubisoft needed to save itself from a potential buyout or sale or anything. We didn't even need to wait a fucking week. And the news came out.
Yeah, I think they knew
Shadows.
before the game was released that they had to do this, so they were just going to perish. So
probably,
even though we were all saying, not we, but people were saying like this game's got to do well to keep the company going, but they knew. At the end of the day, you could try to spin headlines all you want to, but numbers don't lie, man. Like numbers don't lie. So, man, could you imagine seeing the end of this gaming company? Like that's it, it's over and done after putting out some like pretty amazing, I might have to go back and do Black Flag, another run through of Black Flag. Just
I was playing it like 2 months ago or something.
The thing is, I get caught up on like you get caught up on like well, for me, like when you're hunting whales and all that stuff, like that's like freaking awesome.
Just fucking exploring and finding islands and hopping off your fucking boat to get this stupid island that has one animus and one dumb jaguar that you're trying to kill.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, but that's what made that game.
Singing your shanties.
Probably one of the
way
best.
Up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises early in the morning. Yeah. You get to collect sea shanties. So yeah, it's fun, man.
It's crazy. Crazy how quick how the company has fallen. So do we mark that up to another DEI failure?
Well, look, I think that you can certainly point to some things when it comes to that. Overall, I think just general mismanagement and bloat and failed projects and like Skull and Bones, right?
Yeah.
Do we
horrible.
think that
Don't even bring that up. Horrible. What were they thinking?
Exactly. But is Skull and Bones, did Skull and Bones fail because they were trying to insert these specific things in there? Or was it because they were extremely poorly managed? And may some of that be due to hiring practices and deciding to get more people involved internally? Potentially, maybe. But that's that was like a 9-year development cycle, fucking $600, $800 million down the fucking drain. That wasn't because they were trying to force a black gay Yasuke protagonist on people for Skull and Bones. It was just complete and utter incompetence and mismanagement.
Well, I think they felt Star Wars Outlaws would probably do a lot better than it did as well because of the name. I mean, listen, there used to be a time, and it's been long ago, you could slap Star Wars on any game and people would rush out to buy it and play it. Those days are gone, but that's still a pretty big IP. They also had, it's weird, they did the Avatar game as well. I don't think that did probably as good as they would hope, but Avatar is such a unique. It makes a lot of money in the box office, but it has no cultural impact.
It has no fans. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like everybody wants to go see it, but then anything else they put out as far as comic books and things like that, it's just nobody cares. So, except maybe me. But still, I don't know where they go from here. Do you think with a Star Wars, with an Assassin's Creed, that they would be printing money, but sadly, it's not the case. You didn't play any Outlaws, did you? Right? You never played a single minute of Star Wars Outlaws.
No interest.
I don't even have the game either. Everything just looked terrible.
I have absolutely no interest.
They gave that game away to like the Star Wars fans for free, hoping that their gameplay would probably spark more people to buy it. Actually, I think it pushed more people away.
Yeah, maybe there's just some like massive fucking cover-ups or things like that of them trying to do, this with this many players, but only this many sales. Maybe there's some massive cover-ups going on at Ubisoft. They're desperate to spin the narrative. But I don't know. You know what else has been covered up, Jay?
Too bad.
Huh?
I was like, too bad. So sad.
Well, you know what else has been covered up? The insane health benefits of cocoa flavanols. The compounds found in cocoa that boost nitric oxide, improve heart health, and regenerate brain cells. Before you roll your eyes like you just flipped through the heavily redacted Epstein files, this isn't some woo-woo nonsense. Let me show you. Harvard scientist Dr. William Lee actually backs this up. Check it out. We're going to go over here, Black Forest Supplements, and our Harvard professor right here. Let's take a listen.
Studies have been done to show that the flavanols in cocoa stimulate stem cells to come out of your bone marrow like bees in a beehive in your bloodstream, and they go out and they find wherever it needs to be repaired. If it's in your heart, they'll fix it. If it's in your liver, they'll fix it. If it's your skin, they'll fix it. And so we can eat foods like high flavanol cocoa in order to be able to actually get the stem cells to work a little bit better. Now, how do we know this actually works in people? Well, clinical studies have been done with high flavanol cocoa to show that in like men who are in their 60s with heart disease, they could actually just have 2 cups of dark chocolate hot cocoa a day for a month. Yeah. And they doubled the amount of stem cells.
Jay, I mean, 2 cups of dark chocolate hot cocoa. That sounds right up your alley, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Their bloodstream and their circulation improved measurably. And then what's even more important and impressive is that there was a study called the Cosmos study that was completed recently that showed that eating high flavanol cocoa decreases the risk of cardiovascular death.
Yeah.
Right, over a period
like
of
a statin.
Like a statin. Right. Exactly. Except made with by eating the same thing that you use to make chocolate. So we're not telling people to go out to have chocolate, which is a confection. It's got a lot of sugar and all kinds of other stuff in it. Yeah. But it's the stuff underneath it, the core of it.
So this is not telling you to go out and eat a bunch of Hershey's. All right. Just to make that clear to everybody. But you heard it right. Dark chocolate. But here's the thing. Flavanols are the good stuff found in cocoa beans, but they're usually destroyed during the chocolate making process. That's where Black Forest Supplements comes in. They created the first ever high flavanol cocoa powder packed with everything your body actually needs, and it's only 20 calories. You can mix it with your coffee in the morning or a protein shake, and it tastes amazing. This stuff can boost your body's natural stem cell production. So we're not talking about these Hollywood elites and these absolutely despicable means that they'll go to great lengths and pay a bunch of money to get stem cells from. We're talking about what your body is already naturally producing. You can just drink cocoa powder and get the same benefits without selling your soul for it. And let's be real. As men, we need to be strong, mentally sharp, and in peak condition. No one's going to take care of us but us. Being your own hero starts with physical fitness, lifting, building endurance, eating the right foods, taking the right supplements. And here's the deal. We've got an exclusive offer with Black Forest Supplements to hook you up with 40% off for the next 48 hours. But the stuff always does sell out, so don't wait. 40% off. Hit the link in the description and the pinned comment to stock up before it's gone. So thank you to Black Forest Supplements. And thank you to Jay.
Thank you.
For helping me out with that.
I do what I can.
There you go. Good. But yeah, man, drink a little hot cocoa.
A little hot cocoa, man.
Up your flavanols.
I didn't even know I had a flavanol.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that looks like. Where do I locate that?
There you go. But thank you. Thank you, Jay. And thank you, chat. All right, where are we? Maximus. Are you retarded? Thank you, Maximus. Grindodrome for 10. Ubisoft's name will be kept for nostalgia. 100%. It's still going to be, like, they're going to maintain that name in some way. Just call it Ubisoft 2.0. Shadow Saiyan for 10. Leave her, Johnny, leave her is the best shanty. That is a good one.
That's a good one.
Stephen McBride for 2. Jay, the bed's getting cold, and you're not here.
Gay. Which I'm not.
Taker for 2. Ubi sold to the Chinese. Pretty much. Subway J, can I interest you in a sub? It's a foot long. Mikey Gussler, I'm with you, Jay. I'm an Avatar fan myself. Hype for Fire and Ash this Christmas.
I wonder if that movie's gonna do another $2 billion. Like,
how many bathroom breaks is Chris Gore gonna need for Avatar Fire and Ash?
Did you hear that? That it's like
3 hours and 40 minutes or something?
It's supposed to be it's longer than 3 hours and 40 minutes. That was the that it's supposed to be longer than that. So they're talking about either an intermission or doing a part 1, part 2. It's like part 1, and those are just speculations. So it's like, can you imagine like a part 1 drops in December, part 2 drops in January?
Well, so
Cameron was like, there's so much that he couldn't take out. So
Way of Water was 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Okay, so maybe that's what I read, that it's longer than the 312.
It is longer than that. It's longer than what Way of Water was, which is 3 hours and 12 minutes. So my guess is 3.5 hours, somewhere like that.
It's a long film.
Especially when you get that big ass soda, the popcorn, you know.
Bro, I get the extra large cherry slushy every time. That's a 3.5 hours is rough.
Jesus Christ. You and like every child in there. That's what they have.
You don't like
usually my go-to is Coke Zero with add like the cherry. It's the only place I ever have like cherry Coke, but it's Coke Zero. It's at the movie theater. But usually it's a fucking tub of it.
Yeah, I like the slushies, man.
Andre CR, does the Choco Taco have dark chocolate and cocoa?
Sadly, they don't. I don't think they make them anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. Jay gets a lot of cocoa because he don't wipe.
He don't wipe. Thanks for thinking about my butthole. I don't know where you got that from.
Jessica Lindstorm racism for 2. Does it work against Jade's?
Yes. Take it twice a day or whatever the directions say.
Taker for 2. Jay, I was not ready for that. What just happened?
Is that how I looked? It's hard. Listen, I'm on a little 12-inch screen, so I can't see the chat. I can't see, my head looks like this big, so I don't know. I got to have a freaking booger hanging from my nose. I have no idea. So it's hard to see. I'm doing my very best. I didn't want to let Ryan down. I know everybody would prefer the redhead. Bring on the redhead. That's probably what's happening in the chat, which I fully support, by the way. So I don't know.
Everybody likes when Vera and I stream together. There's no doubt.
Does great. You guys do great together. Good work.
So
if I look dazed and confused that we went into Black Rifle Coffee or Black Forest, sorry,
Black Forest supplements.
Sorry. Sorry about that. It wasn't I just have a weird face. I don't know what to say.
Seaman Nader. Ubituary.
Death.
Luke Stone, been lurking since 2019 when Jeremy still had blue carpet and Ryan wore that god-awful Clippers shirt all the time. Bro, I fucking love that. Not necessarily because I have any attachment to the Clippers, but I liked it because it fucking fit good and I used to work out in it. But I did used to wear a Clippers shirt every so often. Luke Stone's been around for a long time. Shout out Rocky Knob Outpost. I need to find that Clippers shirt, to be honest. I need to see if I can find that. But thank you, Luke. Let's see. Mikey Gussler. I can't wait to hear people like Nerd Rod at Critical Drinker Comics Division, Quarter Black Garrett and Odin say Avatar 3 making money means nothing, then complains that it makes load of money. So funny. Well, I'm glad you can't wait for that, Mikey. But I don't think that too many people said that it means nothing in terms of they're not making money. Of course they're making money, but there is just something strange about Avatar where it is something that doesn't seem to have a very big cultural impact, but it makes so much fucking money. It's a very interesting dynamic.
It's a weird phenomenon that happens. So tons of people around the world watch the films multiple times, but then they don't buy
They don't buy merch for it.
anything
They
else.
don't buy
No
video
action
games for it.
figures or games or anything like that. So
It's a very strange thing. I am interested to see how it will do money-wise so close to the release of the last one, because I do think there was something to Way of Water. It's like, man, we hadn't seen Avatar since
Right.
what, 2009, 2011, whenever that first one came out. So it had been over a decade. Now you've got a 2-year gap between them. Are we going to see a similar, $2
Also,
billion
they
box office?
they promoted it in such a way where it's like the 3D experience is the best you've ever seen type of thing. So I think a lot of people went and out of curiosity too to see it. So
I liked Way of Water more than I liked the first one in terms of the story. I don't think either of them are necessarily anything to write home about, but certainly it looked gorgeous. Yeah, which one did you like better, by the way?
Second one. I saw the second one twice, but because I wanted to, there was two types. The way they were promoting it was like watch it either in IMAX for the 3D or watch it in like laser and see that in 3D. It looks different. The IMAX was clearly the way to go. The 3D looked 100 times better as far as like the spectacle that it was. So
I hate 3D in general, man.
I'm not a big 3D guy, but yeah, it really looked good in the IMAX. So, and then somebody suggested me to watch it in D-Box. Have you ever seen a D-Box? I think it's what it's called, the D-Box where the chair moves.
Oh, like the 4D thing?
Yeah. I didn't do that. I did that one time. I forgot what movie. I think it was a Fast and the Furious film. I'll never do that again. It's just not. It's not for me. It's like chair be moving and stuff like that. Trying to watch the film. It's not aggressive, but it's aggressive enough where it's like I just like to plop on the seat.
I know somebody who watched Dune Part 2 in one of those things. And I do feel like that would be interesting, especially with all like the fucking sand vibrations and like all that shit. That could be a cool place to see that.
There's a reason why like theme parks do that for like a 8-minute show, because you don't want to be in there for 3 hours, especially after you have a big slushy in your stomach. So that's all.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that. Sir Hat, bring back the redhead.
The redhead, yeah.
Thanks, Sir Hat. Lynn Green, Tom Clancy's name used to promote communism. Disgusting, says Lynn Green. Yeah, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy. Yeah. Make sure we're caught up over here. What about we're on locals? Let's see. Is that AA? AA Hernans for $1 says, fuck James Cameron. He's a retard who called testosterone a poison. I hope his Avatar movies stop getting to $1 billion. The Way of Water sucks.
He is a weird, he's I think he left the country because of Trump. Is that true?
I don't know if he did it or if just because
great filmmaker, but
now he's in New Zealand, right?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Gave us some of the greatest movies of all time, but man, freaking pure Hollywood person, if that's the case,
Yeah, the Avatar movies are so strange because I just don't think there's anything other than the world and the technology that they're displaying. I don't find anything particularly compelling about any of it.
Right.
But I mean, you can't deny with the box office results. Like they just are what they are. Now, there was a period in time for Avatar Way of Water where it felt like it could potentially not be successful monetarily. That's because James Cameron misspoke effectively.
Yeah,
he
a
little bit hyperbolic, and he said this has to be the second highest grossing of movie of all time to make its money back.
Yeah,
and we're like, what the fuck? So this movie needs to make fucking like $2.5 billion just to break even, which means the budget's like $1 billion. So there was a period in time where those things were part of the conversation, but obviously it was just a little bit of a hyperbolic answer to a question.
Cameron gave us Terminators 1 and 2 course, I think he signed off on that recent one that was horrific. I don't know what he was thinking. Gave us
Dark Fate.
Alien. Yeah, didn't he? Wasn't he like a producer on that or something? I don't know, but horrible decision. And he gave us Aliens, one of the greatest films ever, in my opinion. I love The Abyss. Of course, everyone went and saw the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave us some great films, like some of the best ever. But yeah, he's freaking Hollywood weirdo. If that's the if that's the
Look,
case.
he's got to keep making these movies because he keeps getting divorces and shit. So he's got to pay for them. Man. He's gonna make Avatar till he dies.
I wish he would do some other stuff, but he's been stuck on Avatar forever. You know, it's like Avatar has just been his, because he, like, originally he said there's 5 films to make, so he just loves being in that world for some reason. So
yeah, Zoe Saldana's like, I started making these when I was fucking 25. I'm 52 now, and we still have more to make or something. I just something ridiculous like that. But Logan Johnson, favorite AC games to toss between Black Flag and Brotherhood, both being not only fun to play but also a good story and awesome characters.
Never played Brotherhood.
There you go. Green Blossom, happy Friday, gay boys.
Thank you.
Tobias for 10, Avatar's a spectacle thing. Everyone wants to see it, but long term, it doesn't really impact too much, like a fireworks show. Also, the 3D just gave a migraine, really wasn't worth it. Yeah, I get headaches when I watch shit in 3D. Like even at the parks, some of those 3D rides, man, they just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm fucking old or what, but I just don't like that shit. I don't like that shit no mo. You know what else I don't like, Jay?
There's a lot of things, man. There's a lot of things. You don't like fat people on scooters. You don't like people that drive slow in the fast lane. You don't like when your order gets messed up. You don't like retarded people on the internet. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, we could keep going for the next hour.
That's true. The thing I'm specifically looking for is, you know what I hate? Disney fucking Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah. Very
Imagine
much
my shock.
Very, very much so. I know. I that wasn't a great setup because it could have literally been a list of 1,000 fucking things, and I probably would have said yes to.
Before you get into that, I'm gonna attempt something here. I want to attempt something. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Before you get in relation to Down syndrome,
I'm gonna. I sent you that article. Look who's coming to Galaxy's Edge. They finally. Is it playing? There's Luke. There's our first look at Luke Skywalker coming to Galaxy's Edge. For everyone to see. Now, this is only happening in California, mind you. They're not going to bring Luke Skywalker to Orlando, to their Star Wars land, because why would they do something silly like that? And they just released when you could see Luke Skywalker. He only has a couple appearances. So when you go and find them, there's like 12, 12:30. Here's the official photo from Disneyland. And he's just man, he's getting kind of roasted. Dude looks like a random Luke cosplayer number 6. This is a slap in the face to Walt Disney World and every single fan and Orlando resident that continues to support them. It's mind-boggling how they think this is acceptable for a limited time, giving the significant change coming in weeks. So some of the people over here are a little upset.
Yeah, you know what? At least he doesn't have tits. That's about the best thing you can say about this. Because remember that first picture that they showed?
Yeah.
And
it was just a bad angle.
Kind of like, the way he was kind of leaning over and the way the robe was falling, it looked like it was a girl.
It did. It did. So I don't know if they're going to have R2-D2, but I'm assuming they will, because if this is the official poster. So you can meet him at the Falcon, which means he's going to be behind a gate, you know, like so I guess you could talk to him from afar, or he'll just be walking around just waving his hand, and you can get pictures that way.
He's just gonna kidnap random children.
So there you go.
True Mando season 2 style.
So there you go, everybody. There's your opportunity to go see Luke Skywalker. They just released this
only in California, only in Disneyland.
Only in California, yeah.
So
forget you guys in Orlando. We know you have a Star Wars land, but we don't really care about that one.
That's wild.
Does it really take that much effort to put someone that remotely looks like Luke Skywalker walking around your Star Wars land in Orlando? Does it really take that much effort for them to do that?
It shouldn't be that big of a deal. You're right. Like, it is kind of wild that they haven't done that. And there's no reason to try to maintain the timeline now because there's no Galactic Star Cruiser, because that got canceled, because all that shit. It's so strange.
It's very odd what they are doing. Now, everything else, like their adventure, their Marvel area and stuff, like they always have the up-to-date characters out there promoting their shows and movies and everything else. Everything except for Star Wars. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, you know, Lilo and Stitch movies coming out. They got Stitch running around all the parks everywhere to, you know, promoting the film. So it's just it just makes no sense to me whatsoever why they do that. But hey, man, it's Lucasfilm. What are you gonna say?
You just say it's shit, just like we said the Acolyte.
Exactly.
But even though the Acolyte was a complete and total failure, a flop, the audience despised it. No one tuned in. Horrible ratings for Disney Star Wars, and it ultimately got canceled, and rightly so. Well, there's been a lot of Disney Star Wars fans out there, the ones with pronouns in their bios and trans flags in their profiles and like all of this different stuff. You know, the hardcore dedicated audience for Disney Star Wars at this point, which clearly isn't enough to make a show successful because nobody tuned in, but they can make noise on social media. And because of that, we now have a new story, a new bullshit story that's getting pushed by Collider, Jay. Demand for the Acolyte is sky high despite cancellation. This is from Collider. The Acolyte is showing plenty of streaming demand months after the series was canceled by Lucasfilm. According to Parrot Analytics, the story starring Amanda Stenberg as two different protagonists is currently listed as scoring more than 20 times the average demand seen in the current streaming landscape. I mean, holy shit, Jay, this is a huge fucking deal. We got the Disney Star Wars stan accounts like Star Wars Holocron tweeting it out. New data suggests demand is strong for a season 2 of The Acolyte. Well, we got to renew it then. You got to renew this thing, obviously, if the demand is strong. Parrot Analytics, who track the most in-demand shows by measuring interest, engagement, and viewership across social media, streaming sites, and other sources, indicate The Acolyte has demand in the U.S. that is 20.4 times the market average in the last 30 days.
Oh.
Very important to note that this data is coming from Parrot Analytics, Jay. And do you know why? Parrot Analytics does not measure who's watching things on TV. It measures if things are being talked about. Whether things are being talked about positively, whether things are being talked about negatively, it doesn't matter. It all goes into it's being talked about. And that's what they count as in demand. Parrot Analytics, that's who does this shit. Parrot Analytics is a complete crock if you want to talk about things that are successful versus are not successful. It just means that there could be an army of, say, I don't know, 500, 1,000 Acolyte sycophants that talk about it and ship things with it every fucking day. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that people watched or will watch. That's what Parrot Analytics is. And if you want to understand why Collider posting this is so fucking ridiculous, all you have to do is go back to when Acolyte was coming out. And what did Collider tell us? This time by using the real good streaming charts, which are the same as Parrot Analytics. They don't measure who's watching things on streaming. They measure the things that are being talked about to develop their streaming charts. The Acolyte continues to dominate streaming charts. Except it didn't. Right? Except it didn't. In fact, it had the lowest finale we've ever seen, the second lowest the second lowest launch we'd ever seen, and ultimately through the course of the entire season, the worst ratings in Star Wars history, despite the places like Parrot Analytics and Real Good Analytics telling us that, well, look at all this demand for this show. It's so fucking stupid. And now that the media is running this bullshit and dumb Star Wars retard sites are picking it up, you have dumb retards like Leslie Headland's gay wife, Rebecca Henderson, who happened to be cast in The Acolyte. I wonder how that happened. Probably learned from Harvey. Make sure you cast the people you're fucking. That's what Leslie Headland learned from Harvey Weinstein. Congratulations. Rebecca Henderson shared this article. The Acolyte has been a massive hit for Disney Plus. It was canceled because if you know, you know, but the fans love it and we love you. It was canceled because nobody fucking watched. Their theory is that it was canceled because a minority of people didn't like it and made YouTube videos about it. If that was the case, you dumb, ugly bitch, then they would have canceled a lot of other shit. Trust me.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They canceled The Acolyte because it was trash and no one fucking watched.
Yeah, exactly. If it was in that high demand, I mean, you said it. Nobody watched the freaking thing. But I got to tell you, I hope the people at Lucasfilm and Disney see that report and decide to greenlight a season 2. I really do. I want them to go all in and give us a Darth Plagueis origin story and all that stuff. Just go all in, please. Because I got to tell you, that month that Acolyte was on, my YouTube channel did record numbers. So I'm all for another jumpstart, another kickstart, and sitting around talking about how terrible and ridiculous this show is. So Disney, listen to the fake reports out there that people want to see your show and make it happen. I mean, listen, that type of reporting can easily be triggered by people with using bots accounts and stuff like that and constantly using hashtags. Correct? Like that's how they can gather data like that.
And if you want me to show that this has nothing to do with the amount of people that may be watching something or anything, right? Let's just go back and look at what Parrot Analytics, the company that's saying the demand is high for Acolyte right now, let's see what they were saying when the Acolyte came out. Look, demand for Star Wars shows after season release. Okay, let's zoom in on this thing a little bit. So here you have comparisons between Ahsoka, The Mandalorian Season 3, Mando Season 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1. For the record, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the biggest launch, the biggest premiere that they'd ever seen for a Star Wars show, right? Yet when you look at demand, I'm talking about actual ratings, the actual numbers, Obi-Wan Kenobi. The demand, according to Parrot Analytics, what they determine as the demand for it, which means people are talking about it online, Obi-Wan is basically the lowest.
Wow.
But that's strange. That doesn't really add up with what we're saying. But let's talk about the Acolyte then. Let's look at the Acolyte, this purple line, appropriate purple line. The Acolyte, within a fucking couple days after the launch, was the most in-demand Star Wars series we've ever seen, according to these numbers from Parrot Analytics. Yet of all these shows, it had the lowest ratings.
Yeah.
This data is fucking worthless. It's junk. It is fucking stupid and doesn't matter. Because just because people are talking about something does not equate to people watching something, which is why the Acolyte can be the most in demand and 90% of the people are fucking making fun of it, or you have a little fucking army of queers out there that's just fucking tweeting about it incessantly because they're so happy they got representation, right? And you can get these numbers that you're drawing from mentions on social media. It doesn't mean people are fucking watching it. And even down to the end, you can see Acolyte is middle of the pack, only behind Mando Season 1 and Mando Season 3 in terms of people talking about it.
Yeah, I think
it had lower ratings than Ahsoka. It had far lower ratings than Obi-Wan Kenobi. This chart is meaningless. And Parrot Analytics is fucking meaningless if you want to talk about what people are actually going to watch or have watched.
And then you have, man, what has happened to Collider? It seems like they could just do a quick Google search to find out what this means before writing an article. Either that
they do not care. They're pushing their fucking shit. That's what.
Yeah, they really want what the heck has happened? I mean, honestly, it probably did have a massive social media footprint because people were laughing at how, like you said, how ridiculously stupid people were. People with
here's an example, Jay.
Yeah.
If Parrot Analytics wasn't just doing streaming stuff, because that's what they do, if they were doing, say, movies that are currently in release at the box office, you know what the demand rating would be for Snow White? It would be off the fucking charts because it's being talked about everywhere by everyone. Unfortunately, the vast majority of it is negative, and people aren't showing up to the theaters.
Right.
So it's the same thing. Just because people are talking about something does not equate to people going to see it. Let's take Reacher, for instance. Reacher ranks fairly low in comparison to some other shows that get worse ratings than it in terms of the in-demand, because you don't see as many people tweeting about Reacher. You don't see all these fucking people doing shipping for this or whatever. It's not the same audience. It's a little bit older and skews heavily male. So we don't see it for that. Yet that's getting better ratings than a lot of other shit that's out right now.
Right. It's they should label that a little differently then. Their metric system.
I mean, it's meant to be a fucking scam. They're trying to sell themselves to fucking companies in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But like this Collider article. If you want to talk about how ridiculous and retarded they are, the Acolyte proved to be a streaming success when it was released last summer. The Acolyte proved to be a streaming success. But after an extensive hate campaign seen online based on the diversity of the show's cast, the industry was shocked to see Lucasfilm announcing it wouldn't move forward with a second season of the series.
Wait, so they're blaming racism. Racism! That's why the show didn't do well. That's the old go-to, man. They figured out. They cracked the code. They cracked it. When a show fails, it's all the racist that didn't want to see. Oh, man, that's so 2020. Come on, Collider, get with it, man. That's such an old argument, but yet I guess they'll hold on. Hey, they got Leslie Headland's wife to talk about it, so maybe that they're happy. Crazy.
Vladik Gorbanov for 5. Ryan, can you give us the verse of the day? The verse of the day. Like Bible verse? I'll do a very short one. When the Acolyte was renewed for season 2, this would be the verse I would give. Jesus wept.
Jesus wept.
Joshua Henderson for 10. My only issue with Avatar movies is the fact they took the name of an established franchise that came before, which is Last Airbender. I don't think of CGI blue people with tails when I hear the name. I don't know if the first time anyone heard the phrase Avatar was with Last Airbender. So I don't know if it's that specifically their thing or not, but hey. Logan Johnson for 10. Not a big 3D guy either, and these Disney shows are just as bad. I will say Fallen Order games are at least pretty good, minus the High Republic crap, and Luke is now a woman. Irish Skywalker for 199. Jay, did you serve? Just curious. Have a great day.
I did not. I actually...
You served ice cream at Dairy Queen in the summer of 89.
No. If I did anything good for this world, I volunteered and lived in a third world country for a little while. But no, I did not serve our military. But shout out to everyone who did.
Darth Gavel for 2. Only in Cali, Sodom and Gomorrah, California. Greedy Graffiti for 199. Luke is now a brunette. He's been hair swapped. It looks kind of like sandy blonde, sandy brown. It's lighter for sure, but maybe a little darker than Luke in the movies. Stephen Lee for 2. Jay, fuck, marry, kill. Boogie, DSP, and Wings.
I think I'd rather just jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I'd rather fuck myself, marry myself, and kill myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'd stand on that one.
Sir Had for 2. I hope they make 13 seasons of the Acolyte. Might as well.
That'd be great.
Iris Skywalker, Ryan and Jay, great show today. Fuck the Acolyte.
Oh, thank you.
Roblox head Leslie Headland for 2. Ryan, cash me outside. How about that?
And that girl made a lot of money, didn't she?
Showing her pussy and shit now, right?
Is she? Did she do OnlyFans or something? I
think she made millions and millions of dollars. Right? Cash me outside, girl. OnlyFans. How much did Cash Me Outside girl make on OnlyFans? Last July, the rapper claimed her earnings from the site were a whopping $57 million.
Thanks, Dr. Phil.
Chibi Awachan for 5. Many people prefer watching YouTubers trash the Acolyte than watching the series itself. I was one of them. There you go. Tobias Nexus. If talking a lot about a show meant it got renewed, we'd have season 2 of Firefly by now. Talking about something doesn't equal people liking it. You sook me for $1. Aurora Uplinks. I hope to have employment news. Good news next week. Hey, good luck to you,
hey,
Aurora
man, good luck.
Ventrilis. Notice how the only nobodies from the cast of The Acolyte hyping the shit pile of a show that nobody wants? They're trying to manifest a job opportunity. It's beyond embarrassing.
That's true.
Michael Reel, Schmikey for 5. Jay, are you from up north? The way you say horrible is horrible, which is terrible.
Yeah, I'm not from Florida. I'm from up north, I guess.
You remember, Ryan, if you say no, you'll bang them all. Taker, Legend of Zelda movie releases March 2027.
Oh, man, yeah, we didn't
hear that news. That's really all we have about it.
Yeah.
We thought about potentially but that's all we know. Legend
next
of Zelda.
Year.
What?
It's coming out next year, right? Is it next year?
No, that is quite literally exactly 2 years from now.
2 years.
Yes, but 2 years from now, that's all the news we got. Legend of Zelda set for release approximately 2 years from now. So, yeah, it was kind of shocking with all the hype surrounding the Nintendo movie and all that they randomly dropped the news like a year ago or whatever that, oh, by the way, we're doing a live action Zelda movie.
Well, you know why they did that is because what they announced was like a new Nintendo app. So the first announcement on the app was the movie.
Oh, Nintendo Life or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, let's just everybody sign up for the app. We're going to bring you news. So people are like, why would I do that? And they're like, well, now you know. We just announced the Zelda movie from the app.
Sparta 300 for 199. Jay, you're having a good hair day. Congrats.
Am I? Thank you.
Make sure we're all caught up over on this Rumble side.
Probably look better on this setup than I do in my own. I don't know how I sound, but my mic half works because I plug the headphones into the side of the computer and it works there. But when I plug it into the mic, it doesn't work.
I never plug it into the mic. I always do computer.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel like sometimes I hear myself echo when it's in the mic, but Nintendo Today. Yeah, not Nintendo Life, Nintendo Today. So, but yes, that's it for us. That's the weekend, or we're ready for the weekend now. Jay, what do you got going on, man, other than traveling the world?
That's it. Heading to the White House in about an hour. Can't wait.
There you go.
Should be fun. I'll be back. I'll be back next week.
Yep. We'll see you guys Monday here on Geeks and Gamers Daily. Again, thank you to Meta PCs and thank you to Black Forest Supplements. Go check them out if you want to give that a try. The cocoa. I know Jay's going to check out the cocoa, man. That's right up his alley.
It's right there.
Tell me, all I need to do is drink hot cocoa. I could be a little healthier. Give me some of that shit. But yes, and I'll see you guys on Friday Night Tights in a couple hours. Bye, everybody.